See you sitting there, trying to get through the East Midlands row that we was having to get to this stage. Come on then.
Can we play Dr. Spurs? Can we play Dr. Spurs?
Let's go to the Spurs first.
Right. Do you know what? So the Spurs defeat means that Pep has now lost 5 in a row. That's worse than Connect 4. It's 5 now. Connect 5. And he had some very interesting things to say to the press afterwards.
I would say when you lose 3 Premier Leagues in a row is the most, I would say, wrong thing to say is we're going to be champion. I know that, guys. I know they'll be back. If you expect for that situation what they have done to all of us, me first and the other one, I'm going to doubt about them. It's because something wrong about me. So I'm there. More than I'm sorry. Maybe I will not be used to do it. Maybe I will not be good enough to get back in that situation. And after we will see. But I've been football player for my career now there, so of course it's exceptional what we have done in the past. But lose 3 Premier Leagues in a row with the situations that we happen with the team can happen. So it happened to me as a football player in Barcelona. I think I lose 3 Premier Leagues, 3 games in a Liga. So it's happened. So now everything is a little bit against, because when you feel confident and the other one and the results are good, it happened. But now it's the opposite, and that's why I had to break it in quick and accept it. The best way to go through in that position, accept the reality. So we were never able to lose so many games in a row and now happen because something had to fix it. It's not to say, no, it's you, it's me, that, the other one, or maybe the weather, or maybe, I don't know, the grass, or it's not about that. So at the same time, when I said how difficult is it have done, now you realize how difficult it was. But the reality is here. We have to do it. Guys, we have to start to win games. I don't know when. Tomorrow at 1, because the people say, no, you cannot be worse. Yeah, you can be worse. You cannot get worse. Yeah, it can happen. I don't know. But at the same time, when you said to me, no, when you win 10 or 11 or 12 or 13 games in a row to win, and you're going to win before the game, I don't know. So that's why I don't know what happened. So now it's relaxed, not relaxed, because of course, always when you lose games is worse, but on Tuesday you have to be here again. So, and hopefully we were going to change the dynamic.
Manchester City boss there, Pep Guardiola, talking after his side's 4-0 defeat at the Etihad by Spurs. 200-1 that was, 4-0.
It's a strange interview, actually, because obviously the words and the formation of the words in translation, it gets lost a little bit. But the point he's making, I think, the point that he was truly trying to get across is that he's facing reality. The reality is they've lost 5 games. It's not like a mystery. It's happened, and they're going to have to deal with it. And I think he's quite right. They looked all at sea. I mean, Spurs game plan, I have to say, we've had a lot of criticism of Ange. Even yourself criticised Ange at times. His formation yesterday and the way he went about that game, the bravery, and I will take exception to how Arsenal went there as an example, who went there to close the game out. The Spurs didn't do that. They actually went to open the game up and say, we'll keep the ball when we get it and keep it from you. And then if you put it at risk, we're going to get at you as quick as we can.
And they did.
And wow, did they do that?
Every time.
And Maddison was outstanding.
28th birthday. So maybe it's just a birthday thing.
No, actually, he said something before the game. I see an interview with Ange before the game where he said about Maddison, well, he's been with us all week because he didn't go with England, right?
Yeah.
And, sometimes when you have a little group, because obviously most of the boys are internationals, they're all gone, you kind of get closer to them players because you've been with them all week. You're having a bit of a mess around. It's not, you ain't got a focus of a game. So you kind of get a little new bond. And I think he built a new bond with him. And that was shown in the game. Yeah,
he was absolutely superb. I think you go across the whole team. Vicario looks unbelievable.
Are you going to name them all?
I'll name them all, front and back if you want. No, but in particular, Haaland had some early chances, and it all changes if you score those.
Of course.
The keeper was superb, but Ben Davies, right, who's been at the club for I think about 11 years now. Someone that I've always been critical of at times in terms of, you look at. I've always said it because when he plays for Wales, he plays at centre half. He's a much better centre half than he is a left back, especially in a modern game or where you need your left back to do a bit.
Yeah.
Mr. Reliable. And this season, every time he comes in, he never lets us down. And I just think he's been absolutely superb. You mentioned Dragusin looked good, the Romanian big boy.
When I see the two centre-halves, I thought you had no chance of winning the game. And that's why I was so impressed with Ange's game plan. Because if I had those two centre-halves for that particular fixture, I would have been like, oof, we need to box them off and make sure that, you know, we're tight around them and protect them. But he did the opposite. And they dealt with it. They were terrific. Really were.
I think we scored like 12 goals at the Etihad in 4 games.
I know. It's incredible, isn't it?
What is it? And you know what? I was speaking to Rory Jennings on his show yesterday. Now, Rory does come out with some outlandish stuff at times. And he called Ange Postecoglou, right? Which I just think is a little disrespectful, right?
Not the sort of language I like to hear.
No, and do you know what I really find disheartening sometimes about the way people have dealt with Ange is... Oh, you've done it in Scotland, you've done it in Japan, you've done it in Australia. Like, to diminish someone's achievements because they're not in the Premier League, I think is very arrogant of us. Yes, the Premier League, as we've already said, it's a step up from the Portuguese league. It's a step up to these things. Yeah. But at the end of the day, wherever you are in the world, you've got to win. So a winning mentality.
And you've got to know how to win.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think with Ange, to have beaten arguably the greatest manager of all time in Pep Guardiola, as we always laud over him as being one of the best, he's beaten him twice this season, once at home and battered him away from home. Now, if you're Big Ange, you're going to go home that night and have a glass of wine and go to yourself, you know what, mate?
Absolutely. So I mean, you know, whenever I, you know, was fortunate enough for whatever reason or good enough with my team to get those victories, they stick in your mind when you're beating the top managers, of course. And
which ones stick in your mind of your career?
Well, the one that, you know, obviously beating Chelsea when Mourinho was there, beating Wenger when he was at Arsenal, beating Ferguson 3-0 at St James's Park was like a particular highlight. You know, so they does give you confidence. You know, you start going, right, okay, I know what I'm doing, and I think, but I genuinely think with Ange, and I've always said it. You know this. I've always been a supporter of him on this show. It was outstanding what he did this week, and Spurs will pick up performance of the week this week, and quite rightly, they should hand it over to the manager on this occasion because that was a tactical master plan. There you go.
I like that. You mentioned beating Wenger. I forgot that you had a little bust up on the sideline with him. They were playing it back yesterday. I was like, come on, Pards. I was so rooting for you. I was like, come on, Pards, come on.
It wasn't quite like that. But, you know, let's just say that he got charged, actually, and was issued a fine, and I wasn't. So, you know.
He was the aggressor?
Well, I'm just saying. That's all I'm saying. That's when it went to court. That's what happened.
Oh, it was brilliant. It's so funny watching it back now with a different context. I've been working with you every weekend.
On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.